Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. So our last guest is a Brooklyn-raised, award-winning violinist and violist, performing since the age of 5. She's played with the Symphony and Sea Orchestra, Carnegie Hall's Link Up Orchestra, and as an onstage musician at the Metropolitan Opera. She's performed alongside acclaimed artists such as Madonna, Miley Cyrus, John Batiste, and Chelsea Cutler, and that's just to name a few. She describes her sound as a classical pop fusion with influences of Beethoven and Michael Jackson. So now, as an educator with a Doctor of Musical Arts, she gives back to her students the skills and strategies to become the best musicians they can be. Joining us to share more, please welcome Dr. Nicole Wright. Hello and welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's truly an honor to be here.
We are so happy to have you on our first episode of the year. So happy, healthy New Year's, how I've been greeting all of my guests in this episode, because, at this particular time, I don't think we are where we thought we would be in 2022.
That is very true. But Happy New Year, and wishing you so many blessings for this year and many more years to come.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet. So let's talk about where we are and your career, right? Coming from a performer or being a performer who performs on stage, and of course we did acknowledge the fact that you are an educator as well, but even that has had to pivot. So let's just talk about what these past actually we're going on 3 years now.
Wow.
Looks like
Wow. I definitely didn't think we would be where we are right now, but I am taking it with grace and trying to learn as much as I can and continue to grow from where we are at this moment in the world and in my life. And so though things have shifted greatly from what it was before the pandemic, I am still working my best to perform as much as possible, even though it's through via Zoom and it's live stream performances, and to teach the best way I can possibly teach by incorporating online classes and creating a platform where students can learn from the comfort of their own home by just turning on a video and playing alongside me.
So let's talk about you as an educator. What do your students consist of? I mean, you have a doctor in of musical arts degree, right? So do you teach teachers? Is that who you teach?
I actually had the opportunity to teach both. So I teach beginner violin students and I teach aspiring teachers to learn how to teach the violin to beginner violin students. Because there's one thing to be able to play the instrument, but it's another thing to be able to teach the instrument at a way where the student can really connect with the instrument and understand how it works and how one can play the instrument. So that takes a lot of knowledge in itself. So I teach the students and I teach the teacher how to teach. They are with me in the classroom. So I will teach a group class and have a teacher alongside me, and I'll teach them class management skills. I will teach them how to set up a violinist, and I'll teach them how to work with a student who has different types of issues and how they can go about teaching those issues and using the knowledge that they have to help the student become the best that they can be. And in my dream, I would love for my student to actually surpass me, because they're the next generation. So if I can get them to be better than me, I know that the world is just going to continue to grow and be a better place.
Yeah. Speaking of which, your choice of songs, which we'll talk about later, which is lovely. It's quite lovely. It's so apropos. But before we even go there, I did want to just discuss what that must feel like for you to deal with someone who's a beginner versus someone who is a beginner in teaching the violin. So there's that seasoned and complete. That's a really broad range.
Yeah.
For you, I'm saying, like, I just share with me what that is for you and how it serves you, right? Because you're dealing with somebody who is in the place that you may have been at a certain age, right? I know they come in different age brackets. So there's the children and then there's the adults. That's a really long spectrum,
Yeah. So when working with children, teaching alone, I truly believe that performing and teaching go hand in hand. And that is because I'm learning from the student and seeing through their eyes what they're learning. And I'm also breaking down specific strategies to the simplest form so that the student can comprehend it and then try to achieve it themselves. So teaching goes hand in hand for me. And when I'm working with a teacher, most of the teachers that I work with are um, they're very inspired by their teaching. They really, really, really want to teach. They really, really want to learn. They really, really want to help teach other beginner violinists. So seeing the fulfillment and the enjoyment that they had, and the fact that they know how to ask the right questions because they're cognitively more mature. So they know exactly where they have issues with, whereas a beginner student, they don't quite know how to articulate themselves. However, an adult knows how to articulate themselves, and they're kind of like, I would love if you can help me set a beginner violinist up. How can I do that? And I can easily verbally tell them how to do that. And having the student with me in the classroom, after I can tell them how to do that, I can show them how to do that. And then after I show them how to do that, they can then try to do it themselves. And it's more of a hands-on approach.
Oh my gosh, I would love to have you as a teacher, right? I'm absorbing everything that you're saying, in the sense that I'm also observing your environment, the fact that you're dressed in white, the fact that you also have a turtleneck on, you got the memo. But no, but more so than anything, really, this is all leading up to, there's something about the way you're presenting everything that just resonates with healing. And I wonder if you perceive your instruments as healing tools.
Absolutely. Music is such a healing tool. And it is not only healing for the performer, but it's healing for the person that is listening to you because they are able to connect with you without even words. Because sometimes words, they get in the way. Sometimes you say things that you don't necessarily mean, or something doesn't come out right, or it's not interpreted the way you would like it to be interpreted. But music doesn't have words. You're connecting without words, and it's leaving this vulnerability between you and the audience to come together as one. And I think when you're able to do that, a special moment is created, and this special moment lasts or can last for a lifetime because you can treasure it and it stays and it stores in your memory box. And I think that is what music does for me, and I think that is what music can do for others.
Right, especially because it's your body that's absorbing it. Oh my gosh, that was so lovely. Thank you for bringing it to our audience. Everyone, did you get the sense of Dr. Nicole Wright's healing methods through the violin? Because if you didn't, don't worry about it. When we come back, she's going to perform for us. So don't go anywhere.